I tell them suckers to move. I ain't in the mood. Got me with the crew, let me do what I do. I tell them suckers to poof. Got me in the booth, lobby in the truth. Let me do what I do. Yeah, remember when the U come through, enter the music jungle. Or back with the block, I used to rock, I used to fumble. I still rock down, drop the ball when I want to. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Manny.
My name's Alberto.
And this is the OnlyFights podcast.
Episode 26.
26, man. Getting up there.
What's up, man? How was your weekend?
Not bad. A little busy.
A lot of football this weekend.
Yeah. I didn't get to watch most of it, but, just doing family stuff and other stuff. And, of course, I had to watch the fights.
Oh, yeah.
It was some pretty good fights.
On ESPN?
Yeah, they were both on ESPN, right? The Top Rank and the UFC, the fight night.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll run through this boxing card real quick. Like I said, it was pretty good. You had a lot of two Puerto Rican fighters that I was really impressed with. One more than the other. The first one was Omar Rosario. He took on a Brooklyn fighter and Raekwon Butler. Slightly competitive in the opening round, but for the most part, Rosario took that and dominated the fight, winning by decision. The next fight, this was my favorite fight. Abraham Nova, 21-0, 15 knockouts. He was in the 130-pound division, and he went down to the 126. He wants to fight the champion there, which is Emmanuel Navarrete, which is that's a nobody really calls that guy out.
Yeah.
So Abraham Nova claims that he pretty much just fights smaller guys, and it's not entirely false.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he scored an 8th round TKO over William Encarnacion. It's a good fight, man. He showed to have a lot of power, a lot of skills, and big guy who can make that weight at 126.
Yeah.
So and he put a lot of those things that I said where he felt like he's fighting small guys, and he was saying a lot of that. It was actually a pretty cool post-fight interview. He was like talking in Spanish and then translating it, and basically talking to Navarrete directly, because I believe he only speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
So, but he's basically saying like, yo, if you want to fight a real fighter, fight me. Stop fighting these smaller guys, and I promise I'll knock you out.
Damn.
And yeah, it was
Went all the smoke.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun little post-fight interview.
That's cool.
I think he earned some fans. Abraham Nova. Yeah, that was my fight of the night.
That was a co-main, right?
Yep, co-main. And moving on to the main event, I wasn't too. I love watching Joe Smith Jr., but I forget who he was supposed to fight. But he had COVID and he had to take on a late replacement, and I just didn't see this being a good fight to watch. It was alright. He takes on Steve Geffrard. And they're fighting. This is taking place in upstate New York, where he's from. So, little hometown advantage here, and this is his first defense of his WBA title. So, comes in, and Geffrard, he has this really high guard, and he was just on defensive mode, for the whole fight as it was starting. And, trying to land counters here and there. Not too much success. Though Joe Smith had trouble landing early on because of the high guard, and, made for a somewhat lackluster opening couple rounds. But towards the midway of the fight, Joe would eventually start breaking the guard and finding openings and landing shots. By the 9th round, 30 seconds in, he hurt Steve, and he was on the canvas. As soon as he got up, his corner stopped the fight. Yeah. So, like I said, a little lackluster, but the co-main was cool, And some of the fights before that in the prelims, I didn't really watch too much of it. I had it on, but like I said, I was busy. So
Yeah.
decent night. I don't really know where Joe Smith goes from here. He already lost to Bivol. I don't think he can beat Beterbiev. I think it's pretty much just a matter of time before like one of those guys take his title. He said he wants to fight Canelo. I don't know,
Yeah.
He literally just
Get in
said
line.
like he literally just said like he deserves the payday.
That's
Like,
that's everybody's thing.
That's
though.
his yeah. And I'm just like, man, Canelo would I don't even want to see that. I think that would hurt Canelo's resume.
Yeah,
I
probably.
really do. I really do think that like because a lot of people thought that him fighting Kovalev was I guess like a glorified cherry pick or whatever because
Yeah.
Kovalev looked pretty vulnerable in his last outing and
He's a little
he
older.
had a really short training camp from that fight and he was older plus he had that case going on where it was like an assault or something. I don't know. But so if Canelo goes back to 175, I'd rather see him fight one of the Bivol or Beterbiev. I don't want to see him fight Joe Smith.
Yeah.
That would be a massacre. Yeah.
Agreed.
But yeah. That's what happened on Saturday in terms of boxing. So
Yeah, the UFC card was right before that. Let's start a little earlier. I didn't watch any of the prelims. Wasn't really didn't seem anything too exciting on the prelims. I don't think there was any finishes. Yeah, because the first finish of the year, this was the first card, back of the year. I don't think it was until the second fight in the main card. All right, yeah. So the first fight, featherweight matchup. And I had never heard of this guy, but it turns out he's from our area, King of Prussia, Pennsylvania.
nice.
Bill Algeo. He's had a couple UFC fights. Fun guy to watch. He was taking on Joe Anderson Brito, Brazilian fighter. I think this is his first official UFC fight. He got his contract on the Dana White Contender Series. I watched him fight there like twice. Really aggressive fighter, fun guy to watch. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist. So this was a fun matchup. So Brito comes out as usual, like real high pace. Really aggressive. Takes Algeo down pretty early, and pretty much controls him on the ground the whole time. Algeo does a really good job of scrambling every time he's like almost about to get submitted. Like Brito gets him in a couple close submissions. Algeo does really well scrambling out. And I think Brito just kind of gassed himself out, man. He was like on the ground the whole time, super aggressive. The guy's really strong. Like you can tell he was just like holding him down with like pure strength, more so than like technique, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think he just kind of gassed his arms out. And he, like I said, he had a couple submission attempts. I think he had a choke attempt and then like a armbar attempt in the first round. And then after that, in the second round and third round, Algeo started putting it on him on the feet. And then also started taking him down, and Brito just seemed kind of be in survival mode. He was piecing him up on the feet, took him down at will, and pretty much dominated him the last two rounds and ended up getting the win by decision. So it was a good win for Bill Algeo. I'm excited to see him again, featherweight division. The next fight was a lightweight fight. Dakota Bush took on Borshev. I'm not even gonna try his first name. This was a fun fight. Dakota Bush is like a wrestler. He came out and he took Borshev down like immediately, and it looked like he was just gonna ragdoll him. It looked like he was gonna ragdoll him the whole time. And Borshev was patient, and he never looked like he was very concerned when they were on the ground. He was patient and got up with good technique. And once he got the fight back to the feet, Bush just kept going for takedowns. And then like after one of the clinches, like the clinch broke, and Borshev hit him with like two body shots, and the second one was like a left hook, and man, it dropped him right away. Like it was just perfect placement. Like as soon as he touched him, he just dropped, and the ref stopped the fight. So he gets the first round TKO.
Nice.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Like I said, he seemed really poised. Borshev seemed real, calm and collective the whole time, even though he was kind of getting ragdolled a little bit. But yeah, impressive win. Um, the next fight, women's flyweight fight, two former fighters that challenged for the belt, I think last year. Jennifer Mai took on Caitlin Chikagian. I think Chikagian's ranked number 1 and Maya's like ranked number 2 or 3. And they had fought before, and Chikagian had beat her, and I think that's how she got the title shot. It was a good fight, but Chikagian just was the better striker, and she was able to keep the fight on the ground. Jennifer Mai went for a lot of takedowns, but wasn't able to get any, and Chikagian just pieced her up pretty much. Had her leaking pretty good. Really impressive win. I think she's ranked. She's probably gonna be ranked number 1 now, like under the champ, and I think that's just where she's gonna stay. I think she's the second best flyweight in the world.
Right.
She says she wants to fight Valentina again, but I don't think she ever beats Valentina. I don't think that happens. She's really technical. She's good. She has good striking, but she just has like no power. Like she just kind of touches people. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna work against Valentina.
Yeah.
The second fight was pretty fun. Brandon Royval and Rodrigo Bontorin, a Brazilian fighter. Brandon Royval's American. I think his last fight he lost to Brandon Moreno, so we haven't seen him in a while. He lost to Brandon Moreno, and that's when Brandon got the title shot off of that. He submitted him like in the first round. Brandon Royval gets the 5-round the 3-round decision win. He pretty much dominated this guy all the way around. Bontorin in the first round took him down, and then Royval was real slick on the ground. He was able to just reverse positions every time and get on top. I think Bontorin had his back at one point, and Royval was able to like kind of turn into him and reverse the position and end up on top of him. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, it was a pretty easy win for him. It looked like. I don't know if Bontorin was hurt or something, but he seemed not to be very active. I think like he was just going for takedowns and trying to hold him down. But even in the few times he had him on top, he was just kind of trying to hold him. It didn't seem like he was trying any submissions or anything.
Yeah.
But Royval's fun to watch though. He's like real, very how do you say, like he's very animated, and he likes to do a little showing off and stuff. So yeah, that was fun to watch. The co-main was a heavyweight fight. Haven't seen either of these guys fight. Jake Collier and Chase Sherman. Chase Sherman, they were talking about that he came up from middleweight. He was he started at middleweight, 185, and then went up to light heavyweight, and now I think they said this is his first or second fight. I think second fight at heavyweight. So he doesn't seem that big. You know what I mean? He doesn't seem that. He's tall, but he doesn't seem very heavy. And both these guys are knockout artists pretty much. So it was kind of the way that Jake Collier won the fight was kind of shocking. I think Sherman like threw a kick, and Jake caught it. He took him down, and he was like the way he got him in full mount, and like that was just crazy. Like when a heavyweight is on like full mount on another heavyweight, it's like fucking bad news.
Yeah.
And he was landing, he landed a couple big shots, but Sherman did the smart thing and pretty much gave up his back right away, and then he choked him out. So you don't see heavyweights choke each other out very often.
That's wild.
Especially when they were showing the highlights, like Jake Collier got like all like knockouts and shit. Like he said he couldn't even believe it. He's like, yeah, I wasn't expecting to submit him, but he's like, he gave up his back, and he did it. So yeah, that was a quick one. A couple minutes into the first round. And then the main event, man, the main event was awesome. It really lived up to the hype. Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze. I think a lot of people were looking over Calvin Kattar, including myself. I definitely thought Giga was going to win. And like watching Calvin Kattar get beat by Max Holloway the way he did, I didn't think he was going to be able to, bounce back like this. But man, he put on a hell of a performance. Giga is known for his kicks. He's probably one of the best kickers in the UFC. Like he has his signature kick he calls the Giga kick, which is basically like a left kick to the liver, and he's like ended multiple fights like that. Just like he hits people with like his toes, like he like sticks his toes into their fucking into their body. It's crazy. His last fight, damn, I forget who the last fight was, but the one before that he fought Cub Swanson, and he did it to Cub Swanson. He kicked him right in the liver, and he just dropped him. So Calvin Kattar, man, he's a really good boxer. Like I said, he got beat up by Max the last fight. I didn't know how he would deal with the kicks. I guess that was the biggest thing. Like, you know, Giga's he can throw body and then he does what a lot of the good kickers do. They throw a bunch of body kicks and then, you know, throw the head kick when you're least expecting it. He can do it with either leg. Calvin Kattar kind of got a little bit lucky in the first round, but capitalized off what happened. Like Giga threw, I think, a head kick and completely missed, and it threw him off balance, and he slipped a little bit. And Calvin Kattar just pounced on him right away, jumped right on him, and took him down, and had him down pretty much the whole first round. Had him close, a couple submission attempts. I think he had like a head and arm choke at one point. Giga rolls out of it and then gives up the back, and then he has the back at the end of the first round. And I think that if he has a little more time, I think Kattar could finish. I think he could finish that fight on the back. But Giga pretty much gets saved by the bell. Calvin Kattar only had the back for a couple seconds, and then the first round was over. Second round started, and you know Calvin Kattar was just putting like relentless pressure on him the whole time. Had him going backwards like fast, like, you know what I mean. Like, I don't think Giga was able to set his feet like at all, and he was able to like, you know, stop the kicks, man. Like it was really impressive. Like after that second round, Giga couldn't throw many kicks, and I think it was, you know, he was getting tired, and because of the pressure, and going backwards. I don't think he can get his feet set. It was really impressive by Calvin Kattar, and he was just piecing him up on the feet, man. He was really boxing him up, and Giga was landing too. They were both landing. We know Calvin Kattar got a crazy chin. I haven't seen Giga like get hit like that, so I don't know how his chin was.
Have you ever seen him fight like going backwards?
Who? Giga?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what fucking Calvin Kattar noticed and was like, yeah, let's put the pressure on him. Because I never seen Calvin Kattar fight like that either. Like that type of pressure, like I never seen him do that. And yeah, man, it fucking worked. And he was able to beat him up. Calvin Kattar got fucking crazy elbows too. He did all his damage with elbows, I think. Like stepping elbows. I think his last, the one before Max, he fought I forget that guy's name, but he fought somebody and he knocked him out with like a step-in elbow, like right to the nose, and dropped him, and that's how the fight was stopped. And that's what he was pretty much doing to Giga all night. I don't know how he was staying on his feet. Like it was wild. And I think Giga was hurt from the second round. Like towards the end of the second round, you can see him kind of wobbly, but that guy's a real warrior, man. He kept throwing. He was landing too, but you know, Calvin Kattar was unfazed. And then the third, fourth, and fifth were pretty much the same. Just Calvin Kattar completely dominated him. Just, you know, boxing him up on the feet, and Giga couldn't do shit. He literally didn't throw any kicks, I think, to the last round. You know, he really, you know, he never gave up. At the last round, he emptied his gas tank, and he threw a couple big kicks. You know, nothing landed. Kattar knocked him down, I think, finally at the end of the fifth, and ended the fight on top. And there's probably 5 more seconds left. The ref probably would have stopped it.
Oh yeah.
The way, you know, he was landing those elbows, he had him cut so bad. He was leaking really bad. And man, it was super impressive. You know, I think a lot of people, Giga too, then they all just looked past Calvin Kattar. I think the Max Holloway fight. You know how sometimes like fighters just like they have crazy performances, but then when they get to like a big fight, the big moment, like the moment kind of just like fucking just gets to them, and they have like a shitty performance. Like I think that's what happened to him when he fought Max Holloway. I think that was his first big like main event, you know, 5-round fight against Max, who's, you know, former champ, you know, champ for a long time. And I think the moment just kind of like the moment got to him. I think exactly. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what happened to him, man. Because this fight was crazy, and I'm sure he learned a lot from that Max Holloway beating, because it was very like this fight was very reminiscent of that fight. You know what I mean? Like except he was the one putting the beating on Giga. So yeah, man, it was crazy. Giga definitely got some work to do on the going backwards, fighting going backwards and stuff. But still, like, he still showed like crazy heart, and he's a
Right.
real warrior. Like,
Right. Yeah.
his stock definitely didn't go down. I can't wait to watch him fight again. I'm sure this is gonna, just like it helped Calvin Kattar get better. I'm sure this is gonna help him get a lot better, and that's a whole lot of experience, man. That's
Yeah.
it's a lot of experience right there.
Nah, that was a good fight.
Really, really good. But yeah, that was the card last night. Next week we finally got the big pay-per-view. I always forget about the co-main, the trilogy: Brandon Moreno,
Oh, yeah.
Davidson Figueroa, and then Francis Ngannou, Cyril Gane. A lot of talk is going on. I mean, I just hope that I think I'm rooting for Francis, but I think that there's too much of the talk going on of what he's gonna do after this fight.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up because I was looking at that.
Yeah, like
I saw. I guess he's confirming that he's gonna quit UFC after this
pretty much.
and fight Tyson Fury.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do.
That's terrible.
Yeah, like that's
terrible.
yeah, that's not a very good idea. I mean, he's gonna get paid a lot of money, which I guess is what he wants. But yeah, I don't think that fight is gonna be very competitive.
Nah, man. I mean, well, yeah. Let's focus on this fight. I can't possibly see how he's gonna beat Cyril Gane
Yeah,
because he doesn't have his eyes on the prize, man. And it's not like he's Cyril Gane's a good fighter, man.
probably one of the most technical heavyweights we've ever seen,
Like, real rap, man.
and well rounded. Yeah.
So I mean, if he thinks he's just gonna go in there and knock this guy's block off, yeah, that's not a good idea, man. And maybe, I joked about with that whole like blood and bone thing, but maybe he wants to lose,
I was about to
And
say that.
he might even think. I mean, this is kind of a shot in the dark, but I'm just gonna say it. He might not even think he could beat him, and he might just use this as an excuse, as like, so now if he loses, people are gonna say, well, that's because he was focused on Tyson Fury.
Yeah,
The crazy thing is like if he loses, I definitely don't want to see him against Tyson Fury, especially if he loses. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he gets like knocked out or stopped, or even just loses and like, if he gets outclassed. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of the thing. That's kind of the thing there, that he wants that Tyson Fury fight, but he has to win this fight in order for people to want to see that fight. And also, like, the reason I think he would want to win is because the contract thing. Remember, they said like the championship clause. If he loses this fight, he doesn't have to re-sign. But if he wins this fight, he has to re-sign for at least one more
He has
fight.
to take one more fight.
And then he said that he won't re-sign unless the contract includes some kind of boxing deal. Like, he said he's not opposed to letting the UFC be involved in his boxing thing. You know what I mean? Which, they were saying because of the ESPN relationship is very possible, I guess, with Top Rank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Where they can do some kind of deal with, like, all right, you're going to be under contract with UFC, but we're going to put a Top Rank fight in there, you know?
Yeah, and it would be on ESPN pay-per-view. Yeah. I mean,
it sounds good, like, oh, Francis Ngannou facing Tyson Fury, but, when you really look at it, like I don't see it being very, very different than when he fought.
It's just like McGregor and Mayweather. I mean, on paper and the build-up and everything about it seemed good until you actually realize, like, you're taking somebody out of his element and putting him in against not just anybody, but like the best. Like, Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in boxing. Like, that's no doubt. Especially for somebody like Francis Ngannou, who's I just don't see it. He's not going to be able to traditionally box. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I mean,
he's not going to be able to use a lot of his abilities in the way that he can in the MMA.
Yeah.
I don't like this, man, but
and they're saying even about like some mixed rules type thing where it's like they'll be boxing with like MMA gloves or something.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. But honestly, Cyril Gane versus Tyson Fury would probably be a better matchup. Cyril Gane just don't got the hype or anything around him yet. He's not really a knockout artist. He's more of a technical fighter.
I just want to see Tyson Fury fight whoever is holding all those belts. Right now it's Usyk.
Yeah,
but if he loses to AJ, then that's who I want to see.
Yeah.
Or if he has to fight Dillian White, that's a whole mess going on. Dillian White's suing. Dillian White's trying to sue because he was supposed to be the mandatory for the WBC title, which Tyson Fury holds. and the WBC just mandated Dillian White, but he's not dropping the lawsuit.
Yeah.
So he's literally suing for something that he's getting, but he's not dropping the lawsuit because I guess he wants a certain amount of money. I don't know, man. Everybody's trying to get this bread, man. You got Terrence Crawford out here trying to. It's nuts, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I'm excited for this fight. Nonetheless, hopefully Francis doesn't hold back, and hopefully he really is preparing, because I don't see how he beats Cyril Gane. I mean, unless he catches him. But Cyril is so good with distance and movement, and what I mean, like, we haven't seen a heavyweight like that, for, maybe ever. I would say maybe since like Cain. Cain Velasquez is probably the best one that would move like, he would move like crazy.
Love that dude.
Yeah, he was real fun to watch, man. That was a kind of a shame the way his career ended. I feel like his body just kind of gave up on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cain was the man. But yeah, and then the co-main, I'm gonna have to go with Brendan Moreno again. I think he beats him. Man, I think he could beat him anywhere, really. Like after that second fight,
yeah,
I think he could beat him on the feet or on the ground. But I'm sure it'll be a really good fight. Figueiredo is a warrior. He's training with Triple C. Yeah. You see, Triple C was fucking pissed that he didn't get that fight with Volkanovski. He said, and Dana White kind of fucking, he kind of walked right into it, but he gave a couple reasons why he didn't when Cejudo fights that he hasn't fought in so long and he can't just jump the line and come in. And then Cejudo's response right away was, "Oh, well, you did it for GSP." And GSP was off longer.
Yeah.
And GSP came back like after 4 years of not fighting in a new weight class and got the title shot and then won the fight and retired again. Yeah, I mean, so.
Yeah.
I guess that's what Dana probably doesn't want. He doesn't want, Cejudo to win the belt and then just vacate it right away.
Right.
But man, I think he should give him. I think he should have given him that chance.
It would have been a good fight. It would have been a better fight than Korean Zombie, right?
Yep, Korean Zombie got the fight.
Yeah.
And then the fight got pushed back. The whole card pretty much got pushed back to April 9th for pretty much the next UFC. So it was supposed to be 272 in March, but now it's going to be 273 in April. And the co-main was Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. I guess they thought that couldn't headline its own card, and so they just pushed that back with the main event. And then for UFC 272, they announced the main event is gonna be Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington.
Okay, nice.
So that's gonna headline 272, no belt, which that rarely happens.
Right.
But I guess Jorge is big enough.
Yeah.
Big enough to
both
do
of them. Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And there's a lot of
That's a good fight too.
Yeah, it's a really good fight. Yeah, that's a hard fight for both of those guys. Like Jorge can't, like Jorge needs this win.
So they're both coming off losses to Usman, right? Obviously, Masvidal is much worse.
Yep.
But that was longer ago. Yeah. So
yep.
That's cool, man. That's a good fight.
That's a really good fight. And they have a lot of history. They're selling the hell out of the fight. They got, they were like friends at one point. They both trained together. They were both in each other's corners for like multiple fights of each other's.
Yeah.
So and then who knows what happened, but they like hate each other now and they're really selling it. But yeah, I'm excited for that one. And then the rumor for the co-main, which hasn't been confirmed yet, is gonna be Dustin Poirier, Nate Diaz.
Oh wow, yeah,
that would be a dope card. That would be worth the pay-per-view then if they had that one.
Absolutely, that'll make up for no belt.
No belt, yeah. So I would love to see that one, man. Let me see what else I got. Miesha Tate announced that she's gonna go down to 125 after losing. I mean, I wasn't sure what she was gonna do. I guess this kind of makes sense if she could make the weight.
Yeah.
She's gonna fight Lauren Murphy, who was the last chick to compete for the 125 belt against Valentina. So if she wins this fight, this puts her right back up there for a title shot, especially in that division. There's like nobody else. Well, what's her name? She fought last night. Chikagian.
Yeah.
If Miesha Tate beats Lauren Murphy, then she should probably fight Chikagian, and then the winner could probably get a title shot. Only other thing I got is that March 26th, one championship. That's gonna be that mixed rules fight between Demetrius Johnson and Rotang. They finally announced the date on that, March 26th. I'm really interested to see that. I don't know how I'm gonna watch that, but
probably Fight TV.
I want to watch it one championship.
I think you gotta go order it on Fight TV. It's usually not that expensive.
Nice. So yeah, I think that's all I got.
Word. Well, yeah, we next week we got the Gary Russell Jr. taking on Mark McSile in terms of boxing. I know we're all gonna be on UFC, but that's a fight, man. That's a sleeper. I think that's gonna be a good one.
What's that gonna be on?
Showtime, regular Showtime. But some good fights coming up on February 5th. I believe this is gonna be like in UK in that area, so it's gonna be during the day for us Americans for the time zone. Clarissa Shields taking on Emma Cozen, defending her boxing titles, and I believe Savannah Marshall will also be on that card. And I believe Chris Eubank also will be on that card. So, but then later on that night, again for us Americans, Keith Thurman taking on Mario Barrios. Also, Santa Cruz is on that card, and that's gonna be a Fox pay-per-view.
When's that?
February 5th.
Oh,
that's
okay.
like what, 2 weeks from now?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Josh Taylor makes his return, taking on Jack Catterall, February 26th. Jose Ramirez and Jose Pedraza get it in March 4th. That's gonna be a good one. Nice little Mexico versus Puerto Rico rivalry.
Nice.
And then one of my favorite combinations, Chocolatito versus Roman Gonzalez. That's gonna happen part 3. The grudge match, man, that's gonna happen March 5th.
Nice.
So we got some good fights coming up on boxing too. In terms of like the super big fights, I don't know. I'm guessing Canelo's gonna fight on Cinco de Mayo. He doesn't have an opponent yet. They're talking about Charlo was mentioned, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Reynoso wasn't too. He was pretty adamant about that not being the case. So I'm not sure. I don't know who he's gonna, but we'll see what's up.
So is the cruiserweight fight for Canelo like completely out of the picture now?
That's what I'm hearing.
Is there anybody know why?
I don't know. I guess they just can't make it, or maybe they finally realize how crazy that is, and not sure. But yeah, right now that's not gonna be his next fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter, man. Just any of those guys. I don't see anybody beating him. Maybe Better Biev, maybe the Power. I don't know, but we'll see what's up.
That's the Russian guy, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. So that's all I got.
Yeah, man. It feels good to have all the fights, going again.
Yeah. It's gonna pick back up.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, we'll get to that then. Until next week. My name is Manny.
My name's Alberto.
This is the OnlyFights podcast, and we out.
Peace.
Peace.